Well, good morning everyone. This is George Beirut here giving you the market report for Tuesday morning the 7th of October. Here we are. We start by telling you that we are a stockbroking firm. We are located on the Gold Coast in Queensland, Australia, and I intend to give you more information about our company later in this presentation. But let me start with the disclaimer. Everything I say here is for general advice and general information only. Before you take any action, please consult with your professional advisor or talk to us directly. A copy of this disclaimer is available to you should you wish to receive it, so please call the office if you wish to receive it. Alright, let me start with the data overnight. Overnight and from around the globe, we start with Wall Street as usual, and we've seen US stocks closing lower on the back of small capitalization stocks valuations. Earnings season is set to begin tonight, with Alcoa being the first to release its earnings. The Dow Jones Industrial Average was down 17 points or 0.1% and closed at 16,992. The broader S&P 500 index was down 0.2% at 1,964. In Europe, the Stoxx 50 index that comprises several European major markets was actually up 0.2%. And in London, the FTSE 100 was up 0.6%. In Japan, the Nikkei was up 1.2%. On the commodities, gold a short time ago was trading at $1,207 US per ounce, and that is a rise of $15 or nearly 1.3% from this time yesterday. Silver closed this morning at $17.33, up 50 cents or 2.9%. Crude oil at 90.5 US a barrel, that's up 70 cents. And copper, the world's economic barometer, was steady at 303.6 cents per pound. Iron ore is also steady at 79.6 per ton, which of course is important for our miners such as BHP, Rio, Atlas Iron and Fortescue. As a matter of interest, BHP this morning released some information that they intend to reduce their cost of production of iron ore down to $20 per ton. On the currencies, our dollar will give you 87.5 US cents, 95.4 Japanese yen, 69.3 euro cents and 55.5 British pence. And these of course are intrabanks rates. On our market yesterday, the ASX 200 index lost 0.5% to 5,293. That's with a very low volume because there was a public holiday in various states. In any case, the best performers amongst the leaders were actually Latent Holdings, up 0.6%, followed by Telstra, also up by 0.6%. The worst performers, we have Newcrest Mines, down 3.4%, followed by BHP, down 2.2%. Local shares are set to open higher. The SPAR futures contract was up 17 points, indicating a possible positive start when the market opens in less than an hour. In our market report, we actually have an editorial every morning. That editorial can be some kind of information that may be of interest to some of the readers. This morning we continue with an education series on price patterns and technical analysis. In part 6 today, we talk about how computers today have helped analysts to produce recommendations much faster. We also talk about how technical analysis is an art and not a science. However, computers today are attempting to simulate how our brains function and to deal with uncertainty and imprecisions. This is what we call soft computing, or we can say this is actually smarter computing analysis. A couple of weeks ago, we finished a 13-part series on everything you need to know about options trading, and we covered the Iron Condor strategy that we use extensively here at FS Securities. And prior to that, we finished a series on futures contract. Now, if you wish to receive a copy of all the series that we have here, you may visit our website and subscribe for a 15-day free trial, where you can find a lot more education series, and you can also see our daily recommendations, our daily scans, current and previous trading results, and a lot more. So we encourage you to try our 15-day free trial. Announcements today. that can affect our market. Of course, we have the RBA, that's the Reserve Bank of Australia. Sometime this afternoon we'll actually release the cash rate. We expect no change in the 2.5 current interest rate level. However, it will be interesting to see what they have to say regarding future thinking. Alright, beside that we have here our FS Security picks and trades. During the week our analysts here place several stocks for picks and trades. And what you see here is only a summary of the positions. A more detailed information is placed on the website under our picks and trades menus. If you wish to discuss any of these stocks, you may wish to call us directly or visit our website. I mentioned yesterday the volume was very low, as you can see from the chart here on the screen. It was actually down to 1.2 billion, which of course it's a very low in relative terms. Previously we've seen volume higher than 2.1 billion transactions taking place. What is of interest to us is the ratio of advances to declines. You can see out of the last 8 trading days, 7 days were actually had more declines than advances. There is no question the market is going through a very mild correction at the moment. We believe that FS Securities, a correction of up to 10% is relatively good and healthy, because it provides opportunities to come back and accumulate more. More than 10% can be a severe correction, and then obviously we can see much worse than 10% should it exceed that level. So I think it's time that we have to be very careful in trading. Every day we scan the market and see the companies that have gone up. Magellan Financial Group was up 4.7%, followed by ResMed 3.6%, Macquarie Telecom Group 2.3%, and so on. A company called Silver Chef Limited 2.2% up. Domino Pizza actually continues to appear on our horizon. It continues to go higher. We also like to show you the company with high volume. Even though the volume across the market was low, Telstra still managed 30 million shares exchanging hands, with a rise of 0.2% to $5.40. LNG, liquefied natural gas, was down 1.7 with high volume. Fortescue Metals down 4%, down to $3.30, one of the lowest level we have seen for Fortescue Metals for a long time. Atlas Iron is down 5%. They're going through major problems at the moment, of course, because they are a high cost producing iron ore. And so is Arium as well. We scanned the market for the top 10 best performing and 10 worst performing. We have Paladin Energy, a uranium company, up 5.5%. Magellan, I mentioned that company. Fairfax up 3.8%. On the downside, we have Bidell down 12%. Northern Star, a gold producing company, down 11%. Medusa Mining, Evolution, Atlas Iron, I mentioned that. Regis Resources, another gold producing company, down 5.4%. So we produce all these scans for you, so if you are interested to discuss any of them with us, all you have to do is give us a call. We also like to show you the sectors. What you see here, the best performing sector yesterday was actually the healthcare, up 0.6%, followed by information technology, 0.5%. Mid-cap 50 was up 0.3%, and so is telecommunication, up 0.2%. The worst performing sector, we're not surprised to see gold and the metals and mining and materials and resources all down. Every weekend we show you a bigger perspective, a 2-week variation in various commodities, overseas markets, and the foreign exchange and various ratios of importance. For instance, here you can see that the Dow Jones over the last 2 weeks was actually down 1.6%. The S&P 500, the broader index, was down 2% over the last 2 weeks. The VIX, which is actually the S&P 500 volatility index, we call that the fear gauge, still relatively low, even though over the last 2 weeks went up by 20%. It's trading at 14.5. That we call that relatively low volume. Relatively low level. Gold was down 2% over the last 2 weeks. Silver was down 5%. We mentioned to you before that the ratio between gold and silver is expanding, simply because when these commodities go down, silver usually is hit with a harder drop. I believe of recent time the ratio between 1 ounce of gold and ounces of silver is about 69. So that means for 1 ounce of gold you might get about 69 to 70 ounces of silver, which is one of the highest ratio for a long time. So the question is gold too expensive or silver too cheap? Alright, now in terms of the Australian dollar, we see that the Australian dollar was down nearly 3% over the last 2 weeks, and the US dollar index was up 2.2% over that period. Coffee is up 16%. They got some issues in Brazil with the weather. In terms of the ratio of put to call options, it was above 1, slightly above 1, the ratio between puts to calls to the American market. However, that dropped over last week to 0.9. So you can more or less see that the American market is relatively calm, even though the market is hovering with 2% drop. It's still not taking that drop too seriously. There is no any major hiccups in the US market. The economy seems to be going steadily upward. The problem, of course, could be in Europe and in Asia, in some part of Asia. Now come to the Australian market. Most sectors were down over the last 2 weeks, with the exception of the healthcare, which was the only sector on that screen that appears to be on the upside, was up 0.2%. Now on the downside, we expect gold and metals to be down. So we see that gold sector was down 1.1%. Actually, it's not as bad as the financial and the energy and the metals, as you can see here on the screen. In terms of the various stocks that we like to trade, simply because of liquidity in options, we see that Newcrest Mines was up 2.8%. That's over the last 2 weeks. On the downside, we see that Leighton Holdings was down nearly 7% over the last 2 weeks. BHP down 5.7%. Santos 5.2%. Ria 4.5%. Again, we produce these tables for you so you can at least have an appreciation of what the trend is doing and which companies are going up or down. We also like to show you the companies with the ex-dividends, so you know that if you own any of these companies, when you expect to get some dividends, and the yield and how much they're franked by. Alright, now who I am? Well, my name is George Beiruthi. I'm the director here at FS Securities. As you can see, I have many years of trading and investment experience and several qualifications to support what I offer my clients. My ambition today is to help our clients and prospective clients to become effective investors and traders. The company, we are a stockbroking firm. We are fully licensed. We trade shares, options, commodities, CFDs and foreign exchange, and offer our clients a very attractive investment at 7% over 1 year, interest paid monthly, or you can go for 3 years and earn 9%, again interest paid monthly. We're financial planners and cater for all your financial needs. Finally, how to reach us. The phone number is 61 for Australia, 7 for Queensland, and the landline is 56304141. Alternatively, you can call my mobile. I'm available to be reached 7 days a week. Or you can write to me, george@fssecurities.com.au, or you can visit our website and join us on a 15-day free trial and surf right through the website. And you have a lot of information to see on the website. And if you like what you see, all you have to do is call us and become a subscriber. So that's all from us here at FS Securities. Remember to trade safely and wisely. And we'll be back again this afternoon around 1:15 Queensland time to tell you what happened during the morning. And of course, this will be recorded and placed on the website. Have a fantastic day.